Every gang has a personality. Whether it be the color they wear or a thing they do, every gang is similar yet so different at the same time. And to fully examine that, we're going to be breaking down the 1979 film, The Warriors. But first, a little context for those who haven't seen the movie. One night, a massive gathering of all the gangs in New York takes place. The meeting is organized by Cyrus, the leader of the biggest gang in the city. But before his vision of criminal unity can even take shape, he's suddenly shot and killed. And the killer is actually from another gang, but he quickly pins the blame on the Warriors. And in the chaos and the panic, everyone believes it, and the Warriors are forced to fight their way through the city, avoiding both rival gangs and the police, just to make it back home. Now, one of the most fascinating things about the Warriors is how each gang isn't just a random group. They each symbolize something unique, almost like larger than life comic book characters. And in today's video, we're going to break down exactly what these different gangs represent and how they add to the film's meaning. The first gang the Warriors come across on their way home when they're trying to cross the street to get to the train and encounter the Turnbull Acs. When being presented with having to cross the street in order to keep going, the Warriors have no other choice than to run as fast as they can in order to not only make the train, but to escape the Turnbulls, a group of chaotic, crazy members who are speeding towards them in a bus. The Turnbulls being the first gang to encounter the Warriors on their run home is interesting as they are by far the most chaotic out of all the gangs in the movie and are literally chasing and barreling towards the Warriors with every step the Warriors take. And although short, their encounter is able to present not only how the Turnbulls feel, how every gang's initial chaotic panic was when they saw Cyrus get shot, and as well as the feeling of drive to hunt down and stop the Warriors no matter what gets in their way. After escaping the Turnbull Acs, the Warriors are soon presented with the next gang, which are the Orphans. The first thing to notice about the Orphans is that they are, out of all the gangs, one of the most calm and seemingly non-harmful at first to the Warriors. And we find why this is, as their leader mentions how they did not even go to the meeting in the Bronx, and they were not even invited, and were specifically left out. And this presents exactly what the orphans symbolize in the movie, which is abandonment. And it's interesting that out of all people, the orphans are the ones to be left out and abandoned from being in the group meeting, as this is really each one of their personalities. Throughout their whole life, ever since they were a kid, they've been nothing but abandoned, and that's all they know, which is what ties them together and what ultimately represents their gang. When things then turn violent with the orphans, the Warriors are able to escape again. Yet right after they get off another train, the Warriors then get split up by the cops, and soon are met by the Baseball Furies. Now, the Baseball Furies symbolize many different things. The first thing being the fact that they're all dressed as baseball players, and it leads you to seem like it should almost symbolize the good culture and sportsmanship not only baseball has, but all sports have, and the respect to settle disagreements over a game rather than violence. Yet, right when you take a second look at the Baseball Furies, you see their painted faces and angry expressions, causing you to see what they really symbolize, which is the exact opposite of the sportsmanship of sports, as they always choose violence over anything else. And the color of each of the Furies' face paint are also important, as the leader, Thurman, is painted in a yellow and black design, symbolizing the decay of the original value his baseball uniform once held, and replacing it with an angry, violent, almost inhumane creature that remains and shows on screen. Which is important as being the leader, this is the final stage of letting go and truly becoming a baseball fury. Another quick reason why their face is painted is the director actually said that he wanted them to look almost like zombie baseball players who have lost all morals and are just out to spread violence and fear pretty much. So yeah, but anyway, after the Warriors then make it past the Furies Ajax meets a girl on a bench, and as they begin to flirt, he then realizes she was a cop and that he's being arrested. And this is a perfect segue to the other half of the Warriors, who have pretty much already made it back, yet get taken into a club with a bunch of women, who tempt them, and when they get them all in the club, they reveal they were actually a gang called the Lizzies. And with their great aim and talent, they miss every shot and let the Warriors escape. Although technically they do cut one of them, so whatever, but both girls, whether it's the Lizzies or the one that Ajax meets on the bench, are able to represent temptation and love that only leads to betrayal. We then pick up on Swan, who thinks he's fully alone, but in reality is being followed by his iconic parallel, Vance, a rollerblading warlord of the gang, the Punks. Now, Vance is very interesting here because he represents a parallel to Swan in which both are leaders to their groups, and they both separate themselves, as Vance is the only one in his gang to be wearing rollerblades, and Swan is the only one to have a switchblade, a girl that doesn't betray him, and is separated from the group for most of the film. And through this parallel, we see how these two groups differ and relate at the same time, with both leaders being almost mere images of another, yet so different as well, showing how this could truly happen to any gang, and depending on which gang, each person would act differently in each and every different scenario. The next gang to talk about has really been present throughout the entire movie, as throughout the film, they have really been the big overwatchers of the whole chase for the Warriors. And this is the Gramercy Riffs, a gang mostly dressed in black, led initially by Cyrus, whose all-powerful intention was always evil, but is now led by Massey, a leader dressed in all black and who wears black sunglasses. And like the Baseball Furies, the colors they wear are very important here, as black in film often symbolizes evil and represents the initial evil intentions Cyrus had, as well as the seemingly evil antagonists the Riffs hold throughout the film, as they always seem to be the powerful additions to the evil of the Rogues, as the Gramercy Riffs, through their black clothing, represent evil, which in the end turns out to be representative of justice. Now, the Rogues also wear black, as they also represent evil, yet their main goal of the film is to spread evil, but not the evil initially that Cyrus had planned for all the gangs of New York, but more of a evil to slowly take over and pin themselves as the most powerful gang in all of the city. Yet we then see, once the Rogues finally catch up to the Warriors, how they are met with the Riffs, and, in turn, the news that the Riffs really know who actually killed Cyrus, as although the Riffs represent evil, they still always uphold justice of the truce, which leads them to punish the Rogues for what they did, which is another twisted similarity in them and the Rogues, as the Rogues throughout the movie seem to be upholding justice to everyone around them, when in reality they are only spreading corruption and chaos throughout, which leads us to what the Rogues ultimately represent, which is the desire to spread evil and chaos and corruption. The next and final gang to talk about is the Warriors. Throughout the movie, the Warriors represent hope and rebellion, and although they never actually killed Cyrus, they represent that they do anything it takes to ensure they make it home and that they don't get caught, regardless of if it harms anyone. Another important symbol is the red jackets, as throughout the movie it holds the idea of them being a target and having a target on their back, and how, although you can be innocent, it only takes one person to turn a whole underworld against you. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up the video today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Special thanks to Arte for the video idea. Go check out his channel. And also, if you guys ever have any movie suggestions or movies you want me to make a video on, just put it in the comments below and I'll get back to you and make the video. So yeah, please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed it, let me know what you think in the comments, and see you on the next one.